is nothing but an empty state. I hope the machines operate. I hope it's worth all of the hate. I hope you realize that we're dying and that our mothers have stopped praying. I hope you see the damages despite your psycho ravages. Guillotine, guillotine, guillotine. You killed us before we killed guillotine. Guillotine, guillotine. You're gonna taste my guillotine. You killed us before we killed you. Guillotine, guillotine, guillotine. You're gonna taste my guillotine. Guillotine, guillotine, guillotine. You're gonna taste my guillotine.
Hello again. So Void Signal is ad-free, so if you enjoy me and what I do, please consider visiting voidsignal.net. There you'll find goodies and ways to support me, your friendly, charismatic host and friend. There's a tip jar, links to merch, and the Void Signal Patreon that features exclusive episodes, events, and other special Void offerings. You can find that over at patreon.com/voidsignal, or just visit voidsignal.net to find all that shit. As always, thank you so much for your consideration, and I hope you are well. I am as well. We will talk again soon. I love you so much. Take care. Bye.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, hi. Sorry.
No worries. No worries.
That took ages.
No, it's totally fine. I'm glad that we've persevered and finally made it work. So yeah, the video will not be used for the podcast. It's just for like, I don't know, visual and that kind of a thing. So
Okay, I put makeup on for nothing.
yeah, sorry. Me too.
It's fine.
No, I put 0 on.
Shame.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's not that you're not special to me. It's just, it's Sunday morning.
I know I am special to you. Don't worry.
Thank you. But yeah, so
prop you up. There you go.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, perfect. So yeah, we are already rolling, but thank you so much for making this work. I've been so excited about it, so looking forward to it.
Me too.
Let me gush for a second. I was first exposed to your music about a little over a year ago. I would say I had become really good friends with Brian Blacknoise, Morris Black, and I'd seen you work on a couple of things together, and then I was like, it was right around the time like Fucking Bastards came out, and I was like, ooh, this makes me want to.
Oh yeah.
Flip cop cars and stuff. Like, gets me really excited.
That is the point.
Yeah, I was like, this is what the scene needs. Honestly, I've been in the industrial music scene for a long time, and like, honestly, like when artists like yourself, Morris Black, and some of the others in the scene, like, this is the reason I made Void Signal, is because like these are the the faces and the voices and the messages that need bigger platforms. So I'm so honored to have you on the show. Thank you so much for making it work.
Thank you so much. I feel honored myself, actually, but thank you.
So the new single just came out. It's fucking great. It's banging. But it looks like the response has been pretty tremendous so far.
Good. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with how it's been. People keep telling me that this new double single is fucking fire, and I don't know, that Grab Your Face keeps getting better, things like that. It's always nice to hear. I always keep my feet very much on the ground, because I know things like that can just turn to nothing in one day, and
Sure.
fame or reward from the public can come and go very, very quickly. So I'm not getting too attached to all that, but it's really nice that human beings, come to me and tell me nice things, and human level, it's cool.
Sure. I mean, you sound like you're waiting to get canceled. Like, oh, any day now, I'm gonna say the
No,
problematic thing, and
I don't. I don't think so. But it's not like it's not about the cancel thing that I say that. It's just because love, the love for artists really comes and goes. You know, like you see really big artists being like really noisy one day and then suddenly disappearing the next. It's just because it's the law of, you know, fluctuating things, because new artists come on and the bigger ones that were there before, we forget about them a little bit, and then new ones come on again. It's like, it's just cycles. And I think it's really hard for people, like, I'm not affected because I'm a small artist, but I think it's hard for people who have known extreme love from the public fall back into anonymity. And yeah, it's more on that kind of thing I'm reflecting. I don't think I say the kind of thing that would get me cancelled. I don't like saying those things,
I
so
mean, at least not in this scene. I would hope. So,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, I guess that kind of does wrap me around to like the other thing that I was gonna ask you about is that I mean, you haven't been doing this for a super long amount of time. You know, like you said, you're
No.
still a relatively new artist. What are you kind of hoping to accomplish with this? Like, what would personal achievement be for you as it pertains to the project?
Let's say I have no fucking clue. Yeah, that would be one way of putting it.
Totally possible.
The thing is, I started making music like with absolutely no idea what I was doing, no plan, and no ambition. And honestly, I'm still pretty much in with that approach of things, because I still don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
Sure.
And that approach kind of goes with everything in my life as well. So
Yeah.
so I'm not planning ahead at all. And what would be cool is working with artists that make me dream. Like I've said it before in interviews, but I would love to work with Nick Cave. Or I don't know, Trust would be a big one as well. Fucking love that guy. But yeah, like basically working with people I love the music of would be a great ambition, I think, and keep making things and not becoming tone deaf, and keep having inspirations, because I can see how that can go. I can see so many artists. I mean, you know, people who've inspired us with like their early releases and losing it later, and it's like, this is the saddest thing, you know, because you know what they're capable of, but they just don't have it anymore. That would be the worst thing. But yeah, no plan, no idea.
No, that's legit. I am on the same page. Like, oh, this podcast is turning 2 years old. Do I have a plan for it? No, not really.
Yeah, so, I feel that.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely appreciate that. A seat of the pants is what we are traveling by.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, who knows what happens next? I mean, it's I like it. It does seem like it is. You know, I saw like some of the footage from Resistance Festival. Was that was this year, right? Resistance.
Oh yeah, actually yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time with like time. But it seems so far away, Resistance. But yes, it was actually this year. It was at April 2023. So yeah.
I was about to be like, was that last year? Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
Nothing is real anymore.
Yeah, time means nothing. So, but
exactly.
But I did see like,
but it was this year
coming out of Resistance, and like, you were a splash. Like, you seemed like a big hit there. Like, people were like, you know,
yeah, I guess it's a mix of a lot of great things. First of all, the Resistance crowd is fantastic, really welcoming and really friendly. Second, it was during the show of Morris Black, so it was already fire.
Sure.
And I was a surprise. And I arrived on stage and I was really, really amped up and I was like, holy shit, this is fun. And I was like, full of energy. And I suppose all of this combined really left a good memory for people, for me as well. It was really cool. And I really loved how, because Morris Black does a lot of collaborations like me, and we ended up being everyone on stage. There was Mechanical Vein and Biomechanical and Erase and me and Morris Black, and it was like, it was so fun. I think that's also one of the things that make people keep an amazing memory of it, because it was very social. It was like a lot of people on stage having a lot of fun. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was good to see you sort of like all over my social media from like multiple people, like seeing people who were like, oh, this was like
cool the big flood
happened. Yeah. And it makes me happy too. Like collaborations, I think are not only are they enjoyable for listeners, as somebody who like listens to everybody in the scene, like it's enjoyable for me to sort of see how different people interact with each other or how they work together.
Yeah,
together.
It's really interesting,
and I think it helps the artists grow because
totally, I agree. Yeah. Exactly. And you realize that there are some genres that you wouldn't have thought of going into that you're actually good at or you really enjoy. And that's one of the reasons why I got into like faster music, is thanks to collaborations. Because, initially I was doing like really more like mellow, mid-tempo, sad stuff, which I still think is fucking great. I love sad music.
Yeah.
But I just thought when I was doing vocals for things like Daddy Bear and all that, and I was like, this is actually like, I'm enjoying doing this, and maybe I can write slightly faster stuff and see what happens. And that's how fucking Bastards happened.
Yeah. It's a happy accident that it turned out that way.
Kinda.
But no, I do also really love the sad, like moody, like slower stuff. Like
me too.
I mean, I can listen to most genres and find something I can appreciate. But you're absolutely right, because becoming as close a friend as I have with Brian Morris Black, I mean, he's exposed me to all kinds of crazy like EDM genres that like.
He listens to a lot of shit.
Yeah. Like, he blows my mind. He'll send me some, this is a workout playlist. And it's like, I'm like, where did this even come from? Like, where is this music?
Yeah.
It's great.
That's the thing with Brian, is that he's just got such a big music brain. Like, he's able to listen to anything. And he's able to kind of, I think, make everything as well. He's got a massive music brain.
Yeah.
And I admire him a lot for that. It's I think there's nothing he can't do in music.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Watching him work, I'm like, I'm impressed. I'm like very impressed.
Yeah,
and
me too.
So easy. He has like a deftness to it that I'm like, I'll never be this good. But
yeah, he makes it seem easy, but that man worked his fucking ass off like for years and years and years, and like he makes it look easy now, but there's like thousands of hours of work behind that. So
yeah, for sure,
he deserves everything he gets.
For sure, agreed. Is there anybody that you have in mind that you like really want to work with that you haven't had an opportunity to?
The realistic and really like the thing that is on the edge of realistic and dream is Trust.
Okay.
Like, that would be the shit, man.
That's the one that you're just like dialed in on, like, this would be like.
Yeah, that would be epic. That would be really epic. I mean, there's a lot of people I love the work of. Obviously, I love Priest. I love his retro 80s still kind of goth style. It's nobody else makes that sound in the scene, I feel.
Sure.
In the same vein, I really like Hashberry Ice as well, because I also think they are the only ones having that sound, and there's a lot of I don't want to say that as a bad thing, but there's a lot of like really similar sound in the goth scene, which is normal. It's inherent to the style we make.
Sure.
But a couple of artists here and there really make something absolutely unique, and yeah, that'd be great to work around that.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you. There is a certain amount of homogeny, and that's just how it is, right? Like there's only
It's part of our sound.
whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we come from the sounds of Joy Division, which was very little. How could I say? Very little variation in the tones. So it's only natural that our sounds 40 years later is kind of still in those tones. Even if it's branching out, the people are doing still different things and all that, but the dark wave core of dark wave sounds like that. And I mean, it wouldn't be dark wave anymore if it didn't. So,
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, like, and I think that's kind of where the magic has the potential to kind of shine through, is that like as these influences are like being filtered down through people and like their individual experiences, I often like hear some of those artists that are like, oh, maybe they're not, like, I'll hear a record and I'll be like, oh man, their next record, like if they can just like sort of take one step further away from trying to sound like this other artist and find their own voice and be like, oh, here's what I sound like. You know what I mean? Like I feel that excitement so often with like, oh, you're so close to just like stepping away from your influence and doing something like unique. But like you said, I feel like there's a lot of like people who maybe don't escape that kind of
but I really think also that people want to do that sound, and that's fair. Like, you want to do fucking dark wave, you want to do fucking Lebanon Hanover kind of sound, and you just do that, and you like, you make it as rich and as intense and as personal as possible, but you still want to make it in that sound, and I respect that. Sure. I have no idea what genre I'm making, so maybe I'm saying that and it applies to myself. I don't know. Yeah. It's really hard to take a step back on the sound I make, as probably every artist.
Yeah, sure. But, yeah. I mean, maybe you're talking out your ass. I don't know.
Exactly. Maybe I am. Who knows? I don't know.
That does kind of wrap around to the other question I wanted to put to you, though, is you've done like some slower stuff, and then transitioned into doing like angry stuff. What comes next for you? I assume you're gonna try and put together like maybe a larger release, or
everyone wants to know that.
I mean, it's the question. It's
Yes, it is. It's normal. The thing is, the reason why I don't really do bigger releases, as you probably have noticed, is that I have a bit of an attention issue, and it's really hard for me to focus on releasing something that has 8, 10, or 12 tracks, because it means every time mixing it, mastering it, and making sure everything works together and all that, and it's a long work. So basically what happens is that I give up, and then I write something else, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna release that instead, and I just get it out of the door because it's 1 track or 2 tracks, and I'm like, hey, that's done, I did a release, it's a single again. Yeah. And the album is not done. So yeah, it's kind of like that. But I would really like to do a longer release next. I've been actually working on it before I was doing Guillotine, as I was kind of under explaining there, and I would love to kind of get that working and done. And we're talking something more in the realm of sad stuff again.
Okay, that sounds
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but I can totally respect I'm diagnosed attention deficit disorder, so I can't plan the podcast out too long in advance, because I'll be like, oh, I have no fucking idea when anything is happening. Yeah. Or I'll get bored. I'll be like, oh, who wants to do another interview? We're gonna do a trivia episode. I don't know.
Yay, trivias are great, actually.
Yeah. So I can totally appreciate being like, oh, I'm fucking bored of this.
Yeah.
Just being like, immediately moving on.
Having a new idea is way more exciting.
Yeah,
And yeah.
for sure. Okay, I'm definitely excited for that. Other genre bending experiments in the future, maybe. Given your attention span, it seems
The
like.
thing is, I'm listening to a lot of different things outside of what I do with Grab Your Face, and I listen to not a lot of goth, 100% goth music, to be honest. I listen to a lot of things in the more in the vibe of vaporwave or liminal music, and anything kind of like atmospheric, weird, like dark cyberpunk things like that. And yeah, I've been really influenced, obviously, by that, but I could never like really work musically with that because I don't really know how to, and it feels like a really big, great, scary thing because it would be like a big genre jump.
Sure.
But I think, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure. I think there's something vaguely vaporwavy in the next album.
Okay.
And I would love to. I don't know if you're familiar with like the sort of like a weird core aesthetic and things like that. I don't know if that rings a bell.
No.
No.
Zero bells.
Okay, it's like weird. It's like the weird core and dreamcore aesthetic is like sort of uneasy, misplaced childhood memories, like stuck in loop in the weird place that you recognize and don't recognize at the same time. It's like, and that's been a bit of an interest of mine recently. It's like like niche internet trends, basically cultures and things like that.
Sure.
And there's really interesting music that goes with it. It's really hypnotic and weird and like nostalgic but uneasy at the same time, which I find it really interesting. And I'd love to try to do sound like that, but I need to learn. That's something that I haven't wrote anything in that vein yet for the new album, but I might.
Yeah.
So
No, that sounds awesome. For sure.
I forgot the question.
No, the questions don't barely matter on the show. Don't worry about it. Like it's
Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, that sounds great. So I did write down one last question. I didn't write down much in advance of this because it was like I had a rough idea of what I wanted to pick your brain about. But one that I did not want to forget is why do you think French people are so inflammatory and revolutionary? I can't wait to hear.
That's oh my god, I have no fucking clue. I think okay, I'm gonna talk out of my ass. It's time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a mix of things. I think it's because we were never in history. We were always the conquerors and the how do you say, the colonialists and all that. We were always used to do what we want. And to not be told what to do. So there's probably a bit of that. There's the fact that I don't know what triggered it, but there's the fact that we did the whole revolution thing, and the peasants of France dared to believe that they could rule themselves, even if afterwards it was like taken over by the fucking bourgeoisie, and it ended up being a revolution of for the bourgeois. And I think that the idea of the revolution in France stayed in the brains like a sort of core common memory, as in we did it, we can do it again. I mean, it's our culture to be rebellious and to say when things are not good and we're not happy, and we will break things. And I think that kind of stayed in people's mentality, like a reference point. Like, we are capable of setting things on fire, and we will if we have to. And that, you can still see it. I think it kind of stems from that people today go like, oh, well, things are fucked. Well, we've done the revolution and we are not going to be told what to do. So let's get some bins on fire because that will help. I know that individually, like the French humans I know and myself, we are all a bit like that. We just really don't like to be told what to do, and we don't like we don't like to be forced into something that does not suit our needs and our mentality. But I mean, we put things on fire and we're angry, but it doesn't do anything anyway because the government doesn't give a shit, and yeah, cool, and they're still gonna vote the thing that is gonna make people starve and not being able to pay their bills. So I mean, yeah, it's nice, but in a way, we've made our government used to the fact that we're gonna be angry for like 2 months, and then they just run with it, and then we're just all gonna go back to work because life has to continue. So in a way, it hasn't helped us, because you see in other countries where things get heated from people that usually is really calm, the government freaks out actually, and that helps more. Feel maybe talking out of my ass time.
No,
but yeah.
No, it's totally fine. I talk out of my ass every single time I record it. It's totally chill. It's
a theory.
It's cool because I wanted to hear your whatever your answer would be, because like, you've had the experience of like growing up there. You would be able to answer.
Yeah.
As a person from this culture, this is what I felt. This is my experience with it. The question I do want to put to you though is that I do agree with you 100%. I do think that sort of, there were riots in France recently, and there were memes all over Reddit and the like of like, oh, Americans aren't, we can't even do that because our police will come fucking kill us in the streets, like, or whatever terrible.
It probably will.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, Americans are putting up with like a lot of bullshit as well. But
oh yes, my god.
Do you think that the American population more so, but also perhaps the French population and maybe world populations, I guess, if we're gonna in the broad, do you think that people have been disarmed? Or that the
oh my god, I am so not qualified to answer to this.
or that the state ideological apparatuses have been effective in dismantling our means of rebellion because they control all of those means?
Oh, okay. Well, if I have to answer, even if I think I'm really not qualified for this, I think it all it's all related to capitalism. It's the fact that we've all been put some sort of comfort in our hands. Like we all have a house, even if we can't pay for it. We all have cereals in the morning. We all have a car, even if we can't fucking put petrol in it and things like that. But there's like bits of comforts that are thrown at us. Some sweets and some TV programs and things like that make us probably softer and less prone to action because we have a little bit to lose. My grandfather used to say that there's no revolution with full stomachs, and basically, that means that if you have something to lose, you're not gonna go to war. And that's why I think that maybe the tipping point for our civilization towards capitalism is gonna be the moment where people can't anymore. Like they've been really taken advantage of to the limit, and they have nothing they can pay anymore, and they have they have no more comfort, and they can't pay for their next medicine in America because it's fucking ridiculous that your medical stuff is not free, and there's gonna be this time that there's gonna be a tipping point where people can't anymore. They physically can't. They financially can't anymore, and that might be the moment where things are gonna break out. But I don't know.
I deeply appreciate the like follow up of like just in case. Hey, also,
No.
I could be full of fucking shit. Who knows? No, I absolutely
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm
not an economist.
To my own opinions, I am no expert.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I mean, I hope
I have
so.
no fucking clue.
I really do. I hope that people do like finally get pushed to a point where they react and do things other than just sort of continue to take it.
But it's gonna be dreadful though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's gonna be dreadful when that happens, because for it to happen, it has to be really, really bad, because things are really fucking bad today.
Right.
And, you know, people are still staying in their houses watching their TV. So it's gotta be horrible for it to happen. So
I mean,
I'd rather things get better, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So.
Yeah. And I apologize. I don't mean to like interrupt you, but like I wish that was not true. I wish it didn't have to get
no, it's fine
for it to get better. But I feel like it has to. Like there has to be blood for it to ever change, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
There has to be blood. It's a good name.
Oops.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're all here at the same time to watch the fall of capitalism. Sweet. But oh well. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get some beers at least.
Yeah, right. So aside from fighting the system and writing bangers, what do you do in your spare time? What are some other things that you do?
I do a lot of things. Being a bit on the hyperactive side of things, I do design a lot. This is kind of my second thing in life. I design everything for Grab Your Face, by the way. This is kind of my second thing. I love to draw as well. Mm-hmm. I draw things in a bit of a medieval black work style. So very dark stuff, like thick lines, things like that. Mm-hmm. I play a lot of video games. Video games are cool. They're cool. Yeah. And I've been playing games since I'm like a kid, and it's always been there in my life. And I ended up having a lot of jobs thanks to video games, by the way. So kids, don't ever let your parents tell you that playing video games is useless, because I got money thanks to that.
What
I
is
did that.
How did you get money?
What else do I do? Yeah, sorry.
How did you get money for playing video games?
Because I worked in the video game industry.
Oh. Okay.
I did like quality analysis, translation.
Oh, gotcha.
Things like that. Gotcha. So.
What is your favorite
play video games. It helps.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh my god, this is not. I have millions of favorites.
Okay.
I play a lot of RPGs.
Okay.
It's gonna be a big thing. Anything from a Pokemon game to Fallout games and things like that.
Gotcha.
I love anything that has a sort of, obviously I'm a goth, a sort of darker atmosphere, sort of like uneasy horror, dystopian, dark futuristic. I love Deus Ex. I love what do I love? I love so many things. I love Undertale. I love Zelda. I love several Final Fantasies. I love Life is Strange. Uh, goes on. I love
Good
Myst.
enough. No,
Uh,
nope. That's
a lot of things.
yeah. No, it's.
Yeah.
I just was a small sampling of like, gotta get to know you better kind of a thing. Like, no, totally legit. Are you playing that new Baldur's Gate? Baldur's.
Oh no, I haven't because I generally play games. I generally play games like 10 years after they released because I forget about them.
Sure.
But I am currently playing Zelda Skyward Sword, which was released in 2011. So that
Wow.
gives you an idea of my time frames.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. I'd actually love to play Baldur's Gate. A little bit.
Yeah. No, those are good answers. Like, I just was curious, like, what else you kind of had, got up to in your personal life. So the last question that I did want to put to you, before I, let you get on with your evening, is I always ask, what is something that you're enjoying right now? And your answer can be anything, really. And while you're thinking, I always answer the question as well because, I don't know, it's my show, I guess. And so I don't know, I just do. But the thing that I'm enjoying right now...
yes, please do.
The thing that I am enjoying right now, actually, is... it's been so nice to like work on the podcast again after like having some medical things and being like, oh, this really is a thing I do love. And it's given me so much. And I'm so happy to be working on it again and like having artists on that like I'm excited to have on, like yourself. And I had Mary Catman the other day, and so many like really wonderful, talented people.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she is wonderful. I'm so excited anytime any talented person is willing to come on and like give me their time. So that's what I've really been like jazzed about.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, for sure. What about you? What's something that you're just like
cool? Okay, so my thing at the moment, my hyper obsession, my hyper focus at the moment is how can I say, like antique civilizations, but like the first civilizations, like really the first cities, the first civilizations. So everything like the in the Levant, the Sumerian culture, the Assyrians, all that, the first Egyptians, things like that. I'm a bit obsessed with that at the moment, and I'm just like watching millions of documentaries about this era. And I really like archaeology and paleontology, especially. So that's another special interest.
Special interest, yeah. No, that's cool. That's.
I bet you didn't. I bet you never had that one.
No, I would have never guessed that one. I would have never said, "Oh, yeah, seems like maybe an archaeologist, Indiana Jones type." No, never would have been the guess. Never at all. So.
And there you go. I am.
Yeah. Wow, you are a box of mysteries just waiting to be opened.
Yeah, I like things.
Yeah. No, that's a good answer. Like, especially like the Sumerian cultures and everything. I took a series of classes in college that I was really into. That was all about.
Oh, so cool.
The evolution of like where our morality came from and how it had sort of originated in like through these societies, how it's kind of filtered down and been shaped and altered by like this religion, and Plato said this and it kind of altered this thing, and like how we got to like good and evil. And it was rad, and I was like the only person in the class who was into it. Everybody else was like, this is fucking boring or whatever. But
Jesus,
I feel you. Like, cool, like, history stuff is cool and interesting. Fuck me for wanting to know about where we came from. Like, sorry.
History is cool.
Yeah, that's right. You can go read about revolutions if you like. And
not just the French one.
Yeah, not just the French one. There's all kinds of them. But they don't, they don't want them to be in history books. But anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are not in history books in school. Like, there's a lot we have to look out for ourselves because I don't think they would have enough room in history books for everything that happened anyway.
Probably not. Yeah.
They have to make choices like the First World War and the Second World War over and over and over again.
Right. Those nationalistic stories where, we get to be the good guys and somebody else gets to be the bad guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, that's
at
fucking
all?
weird.
Like, is that a thing you squeeze into your schedule at all?
Some history stuff, like paleontology stuff. Yeah, sometimes.
No, that's why.
But like most of the time, it's just
Because
yeah.
I was
Go
going
on.
to suggest Hardcore History. It's hosted by this guy named Dan Carlin, and he is not a historian, but he's like really into it, and he has this great narration voice. And he talks about like the really like dirty, nasty extremes of history that aren't usually in history books. And I was like, if you sound like a kind of person that would be into such a thing, so. It seems like it could potentially be up your alley.
So hardcore history?
Hardcore history. Yeah, I pop it on when I'm making French toast in the morning.
Got it.
Yeah, good shit. So, yeah, up your alley.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
All right, so I don't want to keep you any longer. Again, so I will let you go. But again, thank you so very much for your time, for coming on the show. And I'm such a huge fan. I look forward to seeing what you do next and, hearing any new music that you make. Thank you so much again. And thank you for making your music. Like, these are the things that people need to hear and the messages that need to be out there.
Yeah, thank you.
For sure.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye. Void Signal intro and outro music courtesy Processor. Visit processor2.bandcamp.com for more Processor, and visit voidsignal.net to help support the creation of more Void Signal. Thank you.